Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, you're welcome. In today's tutorial, we'll be learning how to make a placket, like the easiest and very quick method to make a placket. Now I'm going to first pipe the neckline with a bias strip, and the bias strip I'm working with is 1.5 inches wide. Okay, just cut out your bias strip, or you can use your ready-made bias strip, but I had to cut this out from a fabric. So I'm going to start sewing with 1/2 inch seam allowance. Then I'm going to stitch the bias tape round the neckline. Remember, we're making a placket, so you want to make sure that you have the neckline neat and properly piped before you start working on the placket. You don't want to fix your placket then start piping the neckline. It's not really going to be so nice. So that's what I've done. Now I've gone to stitch the bias tape to the fabric. Now what I want to do next is to stop stitch. So I've pushed the seam allowance towards the bias tape, and I'm sewing with 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, basically sewing very close to your previous seam line. Do you get? So this is a top stitch, and it's going to make this lay really flat. So you can see how I've top stitched. The next is to go and fold in just in two places like this. Just make two folds, just like the way we pipe our neckline with bias, right? So just fold in two places, and we go ahead and stitch it all the way around the neckline. So guys, if you're new to the channel, this is Learn to Sew with Noni. My name is Noni, and here on this channel I upload sewing tutorials, DIYs, pattern drafting, and all around sewing and fashion designing. So if you like the sound of that, or you like that type of content, what is content, please consider subscribing to this channel. I am sure you would not regret that. And while you're at it, please also turn your post notification on, so that anytime I upload a video, I hope that you want to watch it, so that would notify you each time I upload a new video. And to the people that have always been here, my subscribers, the people that love what I do, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys so much. Thank you for always tuning in. Thank you for always being here. It really means a lot. Now that I'm done piping the neckline, what is neckline? Also make sure that you give it a very good press. Now I'm going to fold the bodies into two and go ahead and iron the midpoint. Now what this does is to give me a crease line at the midpoint, or at the middle of the fabric, or at the center line. Okay, it's going to give me a crease line that is going to identify that that's the middle part of my fabric or my bodice. That way I'm not going to fix my placket and it's going towards the side. It has to relax and be at the center. So that's why you need to fold into two and iron. Now the next thing is to determine your placket length. Okay, how long you want the placket to be. So this is a miniature pattern, so I'm making 6 inches. Now you can as well do yours from 7 to 9 inches is actually okay. So I'm just going to rule a straight line from that point, okay, upwards. Okay, so that's the length of my placket. That's how long I want the placket to be. So if you're working for a kid, 6 is okay. For an adult, 7 to 9 inches. Now this is the flap, okay, the placket flap, and the width is 4 inches. Now I made this to be wide because I'm working on a tutorial and I really want you to see exactly what I'm doing. So yours can be shorter, okay, yours can be smaller. Mine is 4 inches. You can make yours to be 3 inches wide. Now the length of your placket flap is your placket length times 2, okay, times 2 of your placket length. So my placket length is 6 inches, so times 2 of that is 12, then plus 2 inches allowance. Okay, so that will be the length of your placket flap, right? Now make sure you adhere interfacing to it. Then afterwards, go and fold 1/2 inch on the two sides of the flap. Okay, this right here, this sea green fabric is the placket flap. Okay, placket flap. Now like I said, go ahead and iron 1/2 inch on both sides. Then you also go ahead and fold it back into two and give it a very good press. Right, so now that we're done pressing, this is what it looks like. So now we're ready to work. What I'm going to do is to fold it into two along the length. Then I'm going to cut it into two. Right, so just go ahead, fold into two and cut it at that point. Now the placket overlaps each other. You get, the placket overlaps each other. So what you're going to do is to place one on the other, but the open sides are going to be in opposite direction. So this part is open, then I also face this other one so that the open part is going to be on the left. Okay, basically one open part will be on the left, the other open part will be on the right hand side. Okay, so just place it at your placket length and sew with 1/2 inch allowance. Okay, remember where you made your mark, the 6 inches mark, place it at that point and stitch with 1/2 inch. Now you're going to start cutting from the middle line. Remember, your ironing has given you a crease line, so it's going to make sure that you work on the center of the fabric. So I'm going to cut on the straight line. Then when I get to like 1/2 inch before my placket that I've just joined, I'm going to go ahead and make a notch on 2 sides. So if you have a thread cutter, it's just going to help you give it a very good nip, and it will just, you know, notch out. But I'm working with a long scissors, so I just have to move the fabric around and make sure that I notch. Okay, push my scissors inside and notch. Be careful when you're notching so you don't cut more than you need. You just want to notch on the 2 sides so that it is going to relax and give you room to walk around the bodies, right? So what I'll do next is to fold the flap upwards, or just move the flap upwards. Okay, then mark at where the neckline ended, then mark 1/2 inch above that point. I just want to secure, or you know, turn the neckline, okay, or the flap. I just want to turn the upper part of the flap, so it's just going to be very neat. Now that I've done that, I also pull the other part and make sure that it is the same length as the other one. So I also go ahead and trim off the excess, right? So that's why I said add 2 inches allowance. That's going to give you an excess. It's better than having a shortage. So I'm just going to open it up and fold into 2. You can see right side facing right side. Then I'll go and stitch with that 1/2 inch allowance that I have left. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and stitch on it. It's going to clean up the top of my placket and make sure that I have a very clean finishing. Okay, so that's basically what we're doing. Now when you're done, you do the same thing for the other side. Fold into 2, right sides facing right sides, and make sure that you stitch on your allocated seam allowance. For me, that is 1/2 inch. That way you're not going to have your placket too small or too wide for your neckline. I hope you get what I mean. Now, so after sewing, you're just going to cut out your excess threads. Then you're going to reduce the seam allowance to like 1/4 inch. You can see, so you turn it out or turn it in, then you get a needle. Okay, now use the blunt side of your needle to poke out the seam so that it's going to be all nice and beautiful. Okay, don't use the sharp part of your needle, the blunt side, or the thread part, the part that the thread gets into. Now what you're going to do is to fix the placket into, fix the excess into the placket flap. You can see just 1/2 inch inwards, like so. So that's why I said when you're placing the flap, one open side will face the left and the other one will face the right. So whichever one you have, just put the already cut out midpoint, okay, from 1/2 inch. Just put 1/2 inch inside, okay, inside the flap. Then you go ahead and stitch it down like so. So just make sure that you sew very close to the edge. That way you're going to get a firm grip and everything's just going to stay nice. Right, and also make sure that you back stitch, or you know, secure your stitches. So I'm done with that part. The same thing is applicable to the other side. Okay, just fixing 1/2 inch into the placket. Okay, 1/2 inch into the placket flap, like so. Just feed it inside. You can as well use your pins to hold it down so that it doesn't move around. Then you take it to a sewing machine and you're going to go ahead and stitch it. And ladies and gentlemen, you have yourself a beautiful placket, a very beautiful placket, very easy and quick to make, guys. Just share this video so that people would see how easy it is, and you know, no longer waste time or have headaches making a placket. Now you can use it for your senators, your any type of outfit you want to make that need a placket. Okay, so this is a very quick and easy method to make a placket. Now when I'm done, you can see what it looks like. Cut out your excess threads, and this needs a very good press. Already everything is looking nice, but just like icing on the cake, you need to give it a very good press. Now this is what it looks like. Mine is wide, you can make yours to be smaller. Okay, now at this part, the inside, what I'm just going to do is to cut out the excess threads. Then you can see that small fabric there, cut it out. Then I'm going to use my overlocker or my cedra or my weaving machine to overlock the excess that I have there. If you're working with a light fabric, you can fold it, you can just hem it or fold it into two, then when you're done, you just go ahead and stop stitch on that point to secure it and make it lay flat. Now that is also optional, you can just use your iron, but top stitching on it makes it better. All right, so when you're done, this is what we have. Give it a very good press, then fix your buttons and make your buttonholes. You can use snap buttons, you can use press buttons. So this is what the placket looks like, and I'm not sure, I hope you love it, I hope you found it helpful. So if you did, please like this video, share it with your friends, and please subscribe if you are not yet subscribed. I love you, and I'll see you in my next tutorial. Bye.